Let's also listen into some more reactions that we've been getting on this controversy. All right. In fact, Brinda Adige is women's rights activist. She's joining us over the phone line. Brinda, this is a classic example of the double standards that are employed. A lot of liberties can be taken with the Hindu faith, but, nobody is allowed to do so with any other faith in India.
You're absolutely right. This liberty that Leena has taken is because nobody has ever threatened her on any of these things. Now, if she is not afraid, why can't she take the same liberty with the prophets or with any of the other gods and saints worshipped by, adored by the Christians? Will she have the liberty and will she not be scared to do that? She is scared. That is why she hasn't put the prophet's photo with a smoking or holding an LGBT flag. She can say whatever she wants. Liberty is to do stuff responsibly. You cannot be selective in your liberty. How is it that you think that you have liberty to portray a goddess Kaali with smoking a cigarette and an LGBTQ flag, but you would not have the same gumption and liberty to do so with a prophet or a Jesus Christ or a Mother Mary with the same depiction?
Often, Brinda, the excuse that is given in such cases is that, we are also Hindus. So if we are doing it, it's not a problem.
No, you absolutely please do because you are a Hindu. But that does not give you the leeway to hurt the sentiments of other fellow Hindus. Does liberty tell that you can do so? You have no right to do so. But if you think that this is what you want to portray and this is, poetically justified, certainly not justified.
Yeah, and the levels, the social levels of what is acceptable and not acceptable have actually been defined by some of the cases we've been seeing. Now look at the case of Nupur Sharma. If what she does is not acceptable to the extent that people are being killed in her name and riots are happening in this country, then other side will also say then we will also not tolerate. Tolerance goes both ways, right? Ashoke Pandit, filmmaker, is also joining us. Ashoke Pandit, what's your view on this film poster and its content? Is this something that is okay artistically?
No, I first of all don't consider her as a filmmaker at all because no filmmaker will want to hurt anybody of their faith or mock anybody's religion or that person's any religion's faith in their beliefs. So first of all, I don't consider her as a filmmaker. She's basically a person who wants to create unrest in the country and she wants to create hate mongering. A hate monger cannot be a filmmaker for that matter. Now, as far as this act of hers is concerned, I demand and I think that the first thing the government of India should do is that she should be arrested because she has no right to mock my religion. She has no right to mock my faith. And she has no right to, for that matter, mock any religion for that matter. We have no right to make mockery of the goddesses and God whom we believe. Does she have the guts to mock Mother Mary like this? Does she have the guts to show Mother Mary smoking or Aisha Bibi smoking or any other religion for that matter? No, they don't have guts to do that. So, and I don't want that also to happen because I believe as a filmmaker, as an artist, as a citizen of this country, I believe that every religion, every faith should be respected and you have no right to mock them.
But then those standards have to be applied equally, no, Ashok?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm for everything. Any religion, I'm saying. Any religion, any faith should not be mocked.
Right.
That's period. There is no doubt about it.
So, Ashoke Pandit, before I let you go,
the basic video, when I see, when my wife saw, or when my family saw Kaali Mata smoking, I'm hurt. I don't know how to react because this is not done. You can't do this. You can't do this. And what creative liberty you're talking about and freedom of expression you're talking. Freedom of expression is not mocking people and mocking people's religion and abusing people's religion. It's not done. And if she has the guts, let her try and do it with some other religion. I'll see where will she be.
Right.
Tolerance, because this community is tolerant, because this community doesn't react the way other communities react, doesn't mean that you take this community
Well,
or this majority
that's what's
population
been
for granted.
established, and that's what's obviously being exposed, isn't it? Because the reactions on Nupur Sharma case, for example, the reactions on Leena's film Kaali are going to be very different. And this is not the first such film that has come to light. Rahul Easwar is also joining us. But Ashok Pandit, I wanted to ask you, when it comes to a documentary filmmaker like this, what are the processes involved? Does it need some sort of censor board approval?
You see, if the documentary is released in theaters
Then
for
it does.
public viewing, then it needs a censor certificate. But if
Okay.
you put on YouTube and if you go on any other platforms, private platforms,
Even film
you don't need a
festivals?
censor certificate. No, film festivals depends if it's a government oriented. If that depends on the festival's organization whether they need a censored film or not.
All right.
But if she the national awards and FFI awards, whatever Oscar awards, you have to have a censor certificate for that.
Right, right. Ashok
But
Pandit,
all
I do.
festivals don't demand that.
Yeah, yeah. That's also what the problem is. No, you can create content and have no responsibility for it. Rahul Easwar, what's your view? Does this
Absolutely, ma'am.
episode not expose the double standard when it comes to using religious figures and even critique of religious figures?
Absolutely, ma'am. What you said is the right word. Freedom comes with responsibility. Creativity comes with sensitivity. We cannot claim absolute freedom in any sense in any nation in the world. That's the reason why we always say we have responsible freedom and we should be sensitive when we are being creative. And please remember, whether it is holy figure of any faith, we should respect it. Whether it is Mata Kali, whether it is Hazrat Aisha, whether it is Holy Mother Mary, or any faith, we should respect. That is what Indian culture teaches. That is what our constitution also mandates. So we are all in unison. The culture and the constitution, global decency, all demands that we respect every faith. She has put out a hate poster. Leena Manimekalai has put out a hate poster. This is hate mongering, and she wants to purposefully provoke a peaceful Hindu community who don't usually respond in a very organized way to such things, and she wants to create controversy for her own publicity. We Hindus are being soft targets. This is unacceptable, and I hope we take legal action, we take social action, and I would humbly request Aga Khan Museum to reconsider their association with people like her. Because please remember, whether it is holy Islam, whether it is holy Christianity, or whether it is holy Hinduism, we should respect such icons of every faith, and those people who are hate mongers should be discouraged everywhere.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
You know,
it will amount to
recently also
racism,
there
it
is
will
a
amount to
film that was
communalism, it will
actually
amount to bigotry.
opposed in the Islamic world because of its content. And I'm just wondering if the Aga Khan Museum would have shown such movies. You want to be defiant, there are obviously great examples you can set. We are also joined by Vinod Bansal of the VHP joining us. Vinod Bansal, आपने ये पोस्टर देखा होगा. आपका क्या कहना है, ये माँ काली को सिगरेट स्मोकिंग करते हुए दिखाया गया है, क्या वो फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन और आर्टिस्टिक एक्सप्रेशन में आता है, या आपको लगता है कि इससे रिलीजियस सेंटिमेंट्स हर्ट होते हैं?
नहीं, सिर्फ रिलीजियस सेंटिमेंट्स हर्ट नहीं होते. बेसिकली क्या है कि ये फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन के नाम पर जो है ना, ये जिस तरह का उत्पात मचाना चाहते हैं, दे वांट टू हैव द चीप पब्लिसिटी ऑफ देयर फिल्म्स which may not take that much of advantage without abusing the Hindu sentiments and Hindu deities. आप देखिए कि जिस तरह से माँ काली के मुंह में सिगरेट लगाई इसने, इस बहन को जरा ये देखना चाहिए कि हम कोई जिहादी एलिमेंट नहीं है जो सर कलम करने की बात करें. हम वो लोग नहीं है जो कि सर तन से जुदा करने की बात करें. लेकिन इसका मतलब ये भी नहीं है कि कम से कम जो है ना, आप किसी की सेंटिमेंट्स को ऐसे ही अनअटेंडेड छोड़ दे जाएं और एक तरफ जो है ना जी, वो जो अभिव्यक्ति की स्वतंत्रता के नाम पर लोग गला काटते रहें और दूसरी तरफ आप अभिव्यक्ति की स्वतंत्रता के नाम पर हमारे देवी देवताओं को बिहेड करते जाएं. दिस इज लाइक द सिचुएशन लाइक दैट कि भी आप जो ना सीधा सीधा हिंदू समाज को ललकार रहे हैं, चुनौती दे रहे हैं. मुझे लगता है कि ये सब चीजों से थोड़ा बाज आना चाहिए. अब समाज का माहौल बदल रहा है, दुनिया बदल रही है और इन बहनों को भी अपनी अभिव्यक्ति स्वतंत्रता के नाम पर जो है ना जी, बेहुदापन और ये जो वल्गैरिटी, एक तरह से मैं कहूँगा इसको, दिस इज काइंड ऑफ वल्गैरिटी विच इज ये परोसी जा रही है. तो बेसिकली क्या है कि ये सब चीजें इनको बाहर जाना चाहिए और संबंधित एजेंसियों को, चाहे लॉ एनफोर्सिंग एजेंसीज हैं या जो फिल्म इंडस्ट्रीज को रेगुलेट करने वाली एजेंसीज हैं, मैं तो आईबी मिनिस्ट्री से भी कहूँगा कि दे शुड रिएक्ट इन टाइम and take action against all those people who are trying to denigrate our deities. और देखिए, मुझे इस बात से कोई लेना देना नहीं है कि किसी दूसरे धर्म का करते हैं नहीं करते, बट हाँ, ये इनको याद रहना चाहिए कि शार्ली हेब्डो जब हुआ तब भी आपको डर नहीं लगा था? उस समय आपकी अभिव्यक्ति की स्वतंत्रता नहीं मरी थी, जिंदा थी, वो सुबह मर गई थी उस समय इनकी। और जब ये नूपुर शर्मा ने कुछ कहा उस पर भी इन्होंने एक बात नहीं कही, लेकिन जब जुबेर की बात आई तो इनकी ट्वीट देखिए जरा, कितने ट्वीट को इन्होंने समर्थन किया है। तो आखिरकार ये जो लोग हैं ये देश विरोधी मानसिकता से ग्रसित हैं, हिंदुद्रोही मानसिकता से ग्रसित हैं। दी कंट्रीज आइडेंटिफाइंग ऑल दोज थिंग्स। तो मुझे लगता है कि जिस कनाडा की ये वहाँ पर जो फिल्म इंडस्ट्री से जुड़ी हुई हैं, वो कनाडियन प्रेसिडेंट को भी इस बारे में थोड़ा देखना चाहिए और भारत सरकार को भी इस बारे में समय से एक कार्रवाई करनी चाहिए।
जी, विनोद बंसल जी, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद हमसे बात करने के लिए। राहुल ईश्वर, आई एम कमिंग टू यू फॉर अ फाइनल कमेंट। देयर आर टू थिंग्स। वन इज, do people do this for publicity because they think they can get some limelight, and at least as far as the audience reach is concerned, that will increase? Do you think this has become some sort of a publicity stunt? We've seen this happening for advertisements, for example, as well. A lot of commentary on Hindu faith, a lot of judgment on Hindu faith and customs, and just overall talking down to them and telling them that what is right, what is wrong, has become standard, obviously. And the other thing is that, do you really need to do this? Show Ma Kaali smoking to get your message across. If you need that, then maybe your message is not strong enough.
And Leena should realize that her creativity is shallow. That's the reason why she's misusing, abusing any faith. Every hate monger does this because that is the thing they would like to propel. This is absolutely unfortunate. This is not creativity. This is rather lack of creativity and shallow creativity that is showing. And I would urge everyone to react in a moderate, responsible, and respectful way, because two wrongs can never make a right. No, demeaning any one faith is never good for any other faith. These are the things that we should take care. Hopefully, Aga Khan Museum will reconsider. Hopefully, Leena will realize the magnitude of the wrong she has done. Please remember, cultural sensitivity is the catchword in a globalized world. Otherwise, people will end up fighting with each other. Please be creative, but with sensitivity. Please use your liberty, but with responsibility. And that would be the request to her. And the law should also take action. 153, 295A are strong sections.
All right.
Please remember, these things are being applied to too many people. So why don't she also face law? That's a legitimate question everyone should ask. And she should please listen to these things and not try to get more publicity out of defaming any community, whether it be Hindu, Christian, or Muslim.
You know, the irony in all of this, Rahul Easwar, is that it is actually the so-called liberals in India and their behavior that has invited this criticism for Leena's movie, because they have set the standards of a certain kind when it's other faiths. So now, naturally, Hindus will also say, okay, you feel so. For example, in Nupur Sharma's case, now what about this?
Point out one thing: no liberal, no self-claimed secular is even issuing a statement saying that this is not right, because it is inconvenient for them. See, their liberalism, progressivism is a mask for their anti-Hindu attitude. See, we are a nation. We are proud to say that we are the first nation to ban and discourage satanic verses, which insults our Muslim community sentiments. Before the 52 Islamic nations and Pakistan, Saudi Arabia did it, we did it, because that is the nature of our culture. We respect every faith, especially coming to Dharam. Any faith, we suddenly attribute divinity to them. But when it comes to Hindu community, they want to purposefully provoke. Down in Tamil Nadu, something happened 2 weeks back where they were insulting Lord Ayyappa and Lord Sri Krishna. And suddenly these people were telling it is freedom of expression. It is our take. Please remember, every faith should be respected. And please remember also the pseudo-secular silence, the pseudo-liberal silence, the pseudo-progressive silence on these matters. They are insensitive to Hindus and hypersensitive to other faiths. This kind of double standard should be called out.
Well, I would say that all of that pseudoness is directly responsible for the shrinking of the space of freedom of speech and expression, because it is applied so single-handedly and so single-sidedly that it just doesn't work anymore. And they are responsible for shrinking the space for creative expression as well. We're getting some more